When television first burst into American living rooms in the 1950s, it changed everything. It wasn't just a new way to watch stories. It created a brand new world for costume design. Forget the huge, glamorous spectacles of Hollywood films. TV was different. It was intimate, it was weekly, and it was a masterclass in creativity on a shoestring budget. Designers had to completely rethink how clothes worked on screen, creating looks that were relatable, repeatable, and ready for the unique challenges of early broadcast technology. This era became a forge for ingenuity, producing some of the most iconic looks in pop culture history. Think about the classic sitcoms. Because audiences invited these characters into their homes every single week, their wardrobes had to feel familiar and real. Everyday clothes helped viewers see characters as people just like them. Designers built wardrobes with repeatable outfits that became a core part of a character's identity. Lucy Ricardo's polka dot dresses in I Love Lucy are the perfect example. They were stylish enough to fit the idealized image of a 1950s homemaker, but practical enough for her to get into all sorts of hilarious physical comedy. Her clothes weren't just costumes. They were part of the story. At the same time, another genre was taking over the airwaves: the Western. Shows like Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and The Rifleman didn't just tell stories of the frontier. They defined a rugged, all-American aesthetic that we still recognize today. Denim, leather, and wool became the visual language for authenticity and grit. The silhouettes were functional, designed for action and movement, emphasizing a tough, masculine ideal. And of course, there were the accessories. A character's hat, boots, or gun belt became their signature. These shows cemented the Western look into our cultural imagination, influencing fashion far beyond the television screen. One of the biggest challenges for these early designers was technology. Before color TV became common, everything was seen in shades of gray. This meant that the actual color of a garment was less important than its texture, contrast, and pattern. Designers became experts in tonal storytelling. Fabrics like herringbone, tweed, and bold checks looked fantastic on black and white screens, providing visual interest where color couldn't. They also had to be careful with certain colors that might blend into the background, or shiny fabrics that could cause a distracting glare on camera. Matte textures were king. It was a whole different way of thinking, using shape and surface to communicate what hue could not. All of this innovation happened under incredible financial pressure. TV budgets were just a fraction of what Hollywood studios spent. This forced designers to be endlessly resourceful. Recycling costumes from one episode to the next, or even from one show to another, was standard practice. They created clever mix-and-match separates to make a few pieces look like a whole wardrobe. In-house sewing departments worked miracles, constantly repairing and refreshing garments to keep them camera-ready. But these constraints didn't stifle creativity. They sparked it. Designers learned to make a huge impact with minimal means, a skill that remains at the heart of television costuming even today. And the results were truly unforgettable. Look at the Beverly Hillbillies. The show's entire premise was built on a visual joke, contrasting the Clampett's homespun, rural clothing with the sleek luxury of Beverly Hills. Granny's gingham dresses and Jethro's oversized jackets weren't just clothes. They were comedic punchlines and anchors for their characters. These looks, alongside Lucy's iconic dresses, have endured for decades because they were crafted with such clear intention. They were simple, memorable, and told you everything you needed to know about the character before they even said a word. The television boom of the 50s and 60s transformed costume design forever. It became a craft of relatability, resourcefulness, and crystal-clear storytelling. Working with tight budgets and technical limits, these designers created wardrobes that felt real and left a lasting mark. From the suburban kitchens of sitcoms to the dusty saloons of the Old West, their work defined the look of early television, and its influence can still be seen on our screens today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the history of entertainment.